So, in a shock move, I mean, shocking to no one really, Ubisoft is now pressuring Steam to remove player count tracking after historic Star Wars flop. So, the company seems to think that Steam is just like going after them in particular when you can look up to play the concurrent player counts with every game. And they're like, well, you need to hide it. Sorry, Ubisoft, Steam's not going after little old you. Okay, so even less transparency from the video game industry. I'm shocked, I tell you, shocked. Okay, maybe not that shocked. The Fry quote there. I'm shocked, I tell you. Okay, well, maybe not that shocked. A wild new rumor leaked from an insider at Fandom Pulse exposes Ubisoft's dissatisfaction with Valve and Steam for displaying concurrent player counts on its platform. Oh no, the poor babies. Currently, the transparency is readily available to all through Steam's tracking tools for third-party websites like SteamDB. I was going to say SteamBD. The problem with it? Well, it publicly embarrasses the performance of Ubisoft's titles like Star Wars Outlaws to gaming journalists, gamers, journalists, and investors. Everyone, much to the company's dismay. Can't have that now, can we? According to the insider, Ubisoft is actively seeking to pressure Steam to discontinue its player count tracking. Why? You want to know which games are good, and player counts are usually a good indication. If you're going to waste $70, $80 of your hard-earned money, you want a game that's going to be fun. If you're a game like Star Wars Outlaws and this is all you have, remember, this is worldwide. Worldwide. This isn't a small isolated area. This is worldwide. And they don't even have 2,500. So what does that tell you? Like, maybe I shouldn't waste $80 of my hard-earned money on this game. It's kind of like YouTube when they decided to take away the thumbs down and all that, or at least hide it. A thumbs down is a good indication of the video, but they did it because people were downvoting, like the news videos and stuff like that into oblivion because everyone knew that what they were posting and trying to put out was just agenda and bull crap. And YouTube was like, oh, well, we can't have that. CNN is a reliable source of news. So they took away the, like and dislike ratio. And for them, they're trying to take this away, but this is a really good kind of way to see maybe I shouldn't be wasting my money on this game. Ubisoft and other companies want to pressure Steam to stop using the tracker from giving out its info they want to keep to themselves. The insider explained that the concern stems from Ubisoft's desire to control how game's performance metrics are presented, especially to investors. Well, well, I'm not a game producer or, a big name company, but I can give you some really good advice. And, in this day's economy, my 2 cents isn't really worth much, but if you don't want to worry about being embarrassed, how about making a good game? Making a good game. A game that is playable, a game with characters that are good and well written, a good story, combat that isn't glitched and buggy to where the stealth, grabbing someone ends up having you moonwalk 50 feet away with them. Just make a good game and people will play it. And it will become a moneymaker, and that game will basically be just printing money out for you. So if you don't want to be embarrassed with these absolute paltry numbers, make a good game. Stop working with people like Sweet Baby Inc. Go back to the way Ubisoft used to be, where they actually created good games instead of one crap fest after another. Again, I know my 2 cents in this economy right now, it's not worth a lot. But consider it just free advice then. Because that's basically what it is in this economy. My 2 cents is basically free. They want to be able to present findings to investors so they can make it sound good. And that's what they've been trying to do with like numbers, trying to say, oh, well, we reached 1 million copies sold. And it's like, yeah, but the game costs like a couple 100 million to create, and that much sold right now, that only equates to like $75 million. You spent like $400 to make it. So it's like you're not even close to breaking even. So saying, oh, we sold 1 million copies, who cares? Are you think people are stupid enough to think that just because it's 1 million copies, that's good? Because people, oh, well, 1 million is a big number. No, most people are not stupid. And some people like me and the people who watch me also see it in the aspect of, see it in a way of running a business. I've said this numerous times before. Say you're this company, right? You take $400 million to create a game. All right? It's $400 million. You sell that game at $70 per game. You only sell 1 million copies, which is only about $75 million. Does that sound like a profit? You're not even close to breaking even. Now, from the outside, oh my God, $70 million. That's a big number. But from a business perspective, 75 million is, you need that 400 million just to break even. So making 75 million, that is abysmal. So in order to make profit, you need to make more than what you spent to make the game. So most people were like, oh, leave these companies alone. $70 million is a lot of money. This game was successful. No, it wasn't. They didn't make anything from it. They didn't make anything from it. When you make a game, you want to make money. You don't want to break even. You don't want to have less than what you made, what you took. And having $70 million made on a game that took 400 million to make. No, you want to get, even if it's just a little bit of profit. So $400 million to make, even if you make $500 million, that's still a profit. It's not a lot, but it's still a profit. Still not enough to say it's a success, but not really a failure, because you did break even and you still made $100 million profit. That's what you want. People need to start looking at this at a business, instead of just saying, "Oh, those are big peepee numbers." No, think of it as if you were in charge of this business. Would you be happy making a game worth $400 million and only making $70 million back? There you go. I know I'm not talking to a bunch of children, so I hope the adults who are watching me can say, you know what, yeah, that makes sense. I would not be happy spending $400 million to make a game and only making $70 million, because that's not a profit at all. That means that's $400 million wasted, which means layoffs have to happen. Good people will now have to be laid off because you can't afford to keep people around right now. But sure, big PP numbers. The insider alleged that their efforts here are tied to the underwhelming, to be kind, sales figures with Star Wars Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws, reportedly failing to reach 2 million copies sold. A massive shortfall for Ubisoft's own admission that AAA games require significant sales that cost to recoup costs, upwards of 4 to 5 million to break even. That's for the copies sold, not the money. That's how many copies they need in order to break even. Which, let me see. Where is it? All right, so say just go 400 million, 4 million times $70 per game. Yeah. So looking at this, it would probably, yeah, about be 300 $400 to for the game to take, to make the game. So this is the number. Just actually, we'll just highball it. So 5 million times 70, 350 million. All right, 350 million. Keep that number in mind. 350 million. So they sold 1 million copies times 70. Does that look like a profit? 350 million to make, and you didn't even make 100 million. Does that sound like a profit? Does that sound, business wise, does that sound like a success? Again, people see this number like, oh my god, big PP numbers. That's a huge number. It's totally a success. No. 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 During a recent interview, XDS24, Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed executive producer Mark Alexis Cote revealed that the break-even point for many AAA titles fall between 8 to 12 million units. The reason I'm quoting the 10 million copies, I actually went over this today already, about competitors. When you add this context to the situation, it paints quite the dire picture for Star Wars Outlaws. If Ubisoft sales figure guesstimate requirements are accurate, the game's inability to cross even the 2 million mark exposes a significant financial loss for the company, making Steam's visibility into concurrent player counts an uncomfortable reminder of the struggle. Taking all that into account, it makes sense that they don't want to be so publicly embarrassed. I don't know. Maybe a way to fix maybe the best way to fix this shortfall is to remove DEI and make better games. Crazy, I know. It's just a thought. See? Maybe it's just make a good game. Make a good game. Forget the pandering, forget the DEI, just make a good game. I don't. I feel sometimes like I'm not even speaking a language to be found on Earth, because apparently these people just don't understand. We have I get a bunch of people coming out and still defending these companies, like, you leave big company alone, you freaking incel. They're doing fine. The game was great. So great it only made 70 million when it cost 350 million to make. Yeah, you keep that big company. I'm sure the next project will be amazing after more people get laid off. But sure, just keep all big company. The trend toward hiding weak performance metrics isn't unique to Ubisoft these days. Other major entertainment industries, like streaming services and comics, have adopted a similar style of new age. Yeah, yeah. YouTube did the same thing. You can't see. I mean, I think for Google Chrome, there's like an ad, like an extension you can have to kind of see it because people use it all the time. But I think it's for Google Chrome. I don't. If you use like Foxfire or whatever else, I don't know if it's there. But for Google Chrome, people will have this extension and allows you to see the dislike, the like to dislike. Or looking over at the YouTube removing the dislike button, which provides, without providing users a legitimate explanation. Ubisoft trying to remove Steam's tracking tools aligns with this a broader trend of controlling narratives around success and failure and removing visibility to customers. Yeah. Yeah, like, look at this. Here's Black Myth Wukong. 2 million all time. Now, for the game, for this being a worldwide thing, this number makes more sense. This is a huge number and super successful. This number, given that this is worldwide, is pathetic. Do not sit here and tell me that this number, which is worldwide, that this is somehow a success. That this game, oh, you're just being haters. Leave the big company alone, you stupid incel. Ugh. This is not a success. Again, this is a number worldwide, not a single country or state, but the entire world. Do you know how many people are in this world? And only less than 2,500 of them have played the game. Meanwhile, with a actual good game, 2 million, almost 2,500,000 have played. So don't sit here and tell me that these games are being unjustly and unfairly criticized. They want to, if these companies want to stop being criticized, maybe they should focus on making good games. Instead of calling us incels and phobes and ist and isms every time we criticize the games because they're crap, maybe you should learn from what we're saying. Maybe leave out the DEI because that's clearly pushing people away, even the people that they're pandering to. Make good games. Okay? When you push out a game, make sure it's not bugging the hell out before you release it. You know, if you're doing a stealth mission and you grab the person and you end up moonwalking 50 feet away, maybe you shouldn't be releasing it. If you have AI that are just, and like nothing you do seems to affect them and they're just like walking in place, maybe you shouldn't release it. If you've got quests and that you have to do, and you know, there's things and glitches going on to where you can't complete those quests, maybe you shouldn't be releasing it. You have quality assurance. You have people testing this stuff. Why isn't this being found out? You have stuff like that being an overpaid staff to do it when you have games like World of Warcraft and games like, you know, stuff like that where they have PTR and the players are better at finding these things than these overly paid staffs are. So there's no excuse. This is a good number. This is pathetic. Stop defending this crap, and maybe they'll stop making it. Maybe they'll go back to making good games. You know, that's wishful thinking. Uh, they wish they could pull Black Myth Wukong's numbers. Then they wouldn't have an issue with the info being publicly available. Yeah, make a good game and you won't have an issue. Yeah, I found this on Fandom Pulse, but you have to pay for some of their articles, and this one only had like one sentence. It was like, have a try the free trial. I'm like, no. So I'm glad that JT did an article about it. Actually, see, one sentence, free trial. So I'm like, no. But this is the left and everything in a nutshell. They don't like what they see, so they try to censor it. So I'm not surprised. YouTube did it, and we thought it was the most asinine thing about, like, why are you getting rid of dislikes? Like, it's just invisible for the user, but for like me, if you dislike a video, I can see it. So like, what's the point? You know, and people can always choose to show. I mean, even before they did it, you could choose to disable the like to dislike ratio. So why even take it away permanently from the user's visibility? Like, why even bother when, oh no, they're disliking it, I'll just disable it. But there was a lot of news stations like MSNBC, CNN, gaming platforms and stuff like that posting a lot of crap that was obviously bias, and people were downvoting them into oblivion. Um, Marvel and stuff like that coming out with trailers for their crap movies filled with DEI and all that crap, and they were getting downvoted to oblivion. And then YouTube was like, "Oh, we're just gonna take away the dislike button." Um, but trying to remove this when this is available for everyone, for all games, clearly it's non-biased. It doesn't discriminate. It's just showing the numbers as they are. It's just showing it as it is. If you're trying to cover this up and censor it, then you're just saying you can't handle the facts. You can't handle facts because these numbers aren't altered. They're not made up. This is how it is. Numbers don't lie. And if you can't handle the fact that your game hasn't reached 2,500 players, then try making a better game. Instead of trying to blame everyone else, instead of trying to hide it, instead of trying to kiss people's asses like investors and all that, why don't you accept that you made a crap product and you're going to try to do better? I know, hard, right? You're a bunch of adults. Grow the hell up, stop making excuses for your freaking failures, and make a better product. Simple as that. Simple as that. And for all you freaking corporate, they're going to continue as long as you keep all the time. Because they're going to see you kinds of people and they're going to be like, oh, well, we don't have to please everyone. So stop these freaking corporations and maybe they might learn. And maybe they'll see that this isn't a freaking success. That $70 million profit for a game that took 350 million to make isn't good. Instead of coming out and attacking us, the people who are explaining why this isn't working, instead of attacking us, maybe you should get your attention onto these companies and say, hey, we support you, but you need to create better products. But again, that's wishful thinking as well, because none of those people are going to stop those fucking corporations. It's not going to happen. They're too set in their ways of, don't you talk about big corporation, you freaking incel. And they're just going to keep, oh yeah, in my mouth, baby. And then when a new game comes out, they're like the good little seals they've been trained to be, clapping at buggy, poor, subpar product because that's how they've been trained. Because, oh, big name IP, they basically act like that, the meme, what is it, consumer meme or whatever, where it's like, every time they come out, without even thinking if it's going to be good, if it's going to be, no, you just consume. You just consume. And then you see it's bad, but then you still go out of your way to, big corporations. Not my problem. I'm telling it like it is. You go on Twitter or anywhere on the internet, you look in the comments, and you see big people defending these corporations, constantly putting out crap, and they're still defending them, making excuses for them, like these people are a bunch of children. And then we're the ones who get looked at like we're crazy. Not the grown adults who can't seem to make a good game anymore. Oh, no, the ones who have to feel the need to push diversity and all that crap in games, who can't tell a good story or put out a game that isn't buggy and glitchy like hell. No. We're the ones who are the problem, the ones for calling it out. Anyway, not surprised. Ubisoft right now deserves everything they get. Everything they get. But that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.